the best treatment for that we know exists is to, do gender confirmation via hormones.
And you know that doesn't affect the suicide rate. The suicide rate for trans people is very high, post-op and pre-op. Really doesn't get affected by whether or not you treat them.
Well, the operation,
the question can be, why is that? Is that because they're not accepted by society and we're not more loving? Could it be underlying issues that are causing them to feel this way in the first place? Like, what is it? We don't know, and I'm sure it varies why.
It's been a minute since we dropped one of these breakdowns, but we're back with an absolute flamethrower of a list. Joe Rogan obliterating guests bold enough to bring woke ideology onto his turf.
Look, so all I can do is defer to the experts that I know about this, right? So
the heat is nuclear, the takedowns are brutal, and the cringe level is catastrophic. So smash that subscribe button, hit the notifications, and dive straight into the chaos. First challenger, actor and writer Adam Conover.
Choosing to add hormones to a child's body, that's a choice.
It's a choice blockers. It's a choice on the part of the parent. It's not a choice on the part of the child to in the same way that being gay isn't a choice. Yeah.
Okay, but if that's who they are, if they think that they're a girl, why do you have to give them hormones to make them more of a girl?
Because I'm sorry, can you expand on the question?
It's a simple question.
What happens when your worldview drifts so far from reality that it abandons you mid-sentence? You freeze, your brain glitches, and you instantly regret ever agreeing to sit in that studio chair.
If you say that the child thinks it's a girl, so you're going to give the child hormones.
Mm-hmm.
If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl. Why are you adding hormones? If you're shooting hormones into a child, and you're affecting the child's development, you're saying that's not a choice. That's nonsense. Of course it's a choice. You're choosing to chemically change this child's body. You're choosing to inject things into this child's body on a regular basis that are going to radically affect the physical development of their body.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this isn't a choice. Well, it's definitely a choice to do that.
So what trans people express, and again, I'm not an expert. This is from me talking to my trans friends and seeing what other trans folks.
Adam Conover tries defending why kids should transition, until Rogan fires a question that slingshots him right back to earth. Watch closely as he fumbles through an answer he clearly didn't prepare for.
If you say that the child thinks it's a girl, so you're going to give the child hormones.
Mm-hmm.
If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl. Why are you adding hormones? If you're shooting hormones into a child and you're affecting the child's development, you're saying that's not a choice. That's nonsense. Of course it's a choice. You're choosing to chemically change this child's body. You're choosing to inject things into this child's body on a regular basis that are going to radically affect the physical development of their body.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this isn't a choice. Well, it's definitely a choice to do that.
So what trans people express, and again, I'm not an expert. This is from me talking to my trans friends and seeing what other trans folks say.
Oh, now he's not an expert on trans issues? How convenient. I'm not an expert is really code for I actually don't know what I'm talking about. Seconds earlier, he was confidently preaching about hormone blockers for minors like he had a medical degree. But when Rogan asks something outside his talking point script, boom, he suddenly becomes a shy bystander. Classic move. Talk big until reality walks in and shatters the illusion. But isn't this more psychological than physical? If someone feels disconnected from their body, therapy, not irreversible medical procedures, should be the first step, especially for children still forming their identity. Yet today, even suggesting therapy triggers outrage. Common sense is now offensive. Clarity is rebranded as bigotry.
If you say that the child thinks it's a girl, so you're going to give the child hormones.
Mm-hmm.
If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl. Why are you adding hormones? If you're shooting hormones into a child and you're affecting the child's development, you're saying that's not a choice. That's nonsense. Of course it's a choice. You're choosing to chemically change this child's body. You're choosing to inject things into this child's body on a regular basis that are going to radically affect the physical development of their body.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this isn't a choice. Well, it's definitely a choice to do that.
Boom. Rogan drops another fact bomb. Research shows transgender individuals are not less likely to attempt suicide after gender-affirming surgery. Several long-term studies show the opposite, suicidal thoughts may actually increase. The takeaway? The core issue isn't physical. It's emotional, psychological, and deeply complicated.
At this point in the conversation, I would say, like, hey man, I just got to bone up on, on that particular, because I don't want to speak to suicide rates.
My entire concern is with children. My concern is not with young adults deciding to take steps to confirm their gender identity, who they feel they really are.
And just like that, Adam Conover slinks away, deflated, exposed, and humiliated. He walked in full of buzzwords and performative confidence, ready to take on Rogan. But when met with facts and logic, he folded faster than a lawn chair at a cookout. It's always the same playbook. Loud at first, silent when challenged. That's the risk of parroting woke talking points without doing real homework. You end up looking like a hashtag instead of a debater. And now Rogan drops the hammer.
As you grow and mature and develop, you growing out of these ideas. Some will and some won't. And the ones who won't, they always have the option to do something later on in life. But if you do something to hormonally block a child very, very early on, there's no turning back from that.
Kids change their minds constantly. It's literally part of growing up. Today, they want to be astronauts. Tomorrow, chefs. Next week, superheroes. Their brains are still developing. Emotions swing wildly. That's precisely why letting them make permanent, life-altering medical choices is beyond irresponsible. We don't let kids vote, drink, get tattoos, or sign contracts, but irreversible surgeries or hormone treatments. Somehow that's fine? Children deserve protection, not blind affirmation. After Rogan called Conover out on hormone blockers, Adam immediately pivoted to a new topic.
It's a good question. I think we're really going to go through like a cultural change on how we think about that, and it's morphing so quickly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm very much, because I am of this opinion that there is no such thing as like perfect fairness. And when we make those distinctions, we're always choosing who to allow. Mm-hmm. And because I think we should choose to allow like trans people to participate in society.
One thing about woke activists: they love drowning simple questions in oceans of jargon. They rarely give direct answers. Instead, they unleash academic-sounding word salads that say nothing. Take Conover. The question was simple, but he answered with a monologue full of buzzwords, circular logic, and emotional fluff, only to end at the same predictable conclusion. Trans people should compete in women's sports. It makes you wonder, if the argument requires that many verbal smoke bombs, how strong is it really? What are they hiding behind all that noise?
There's a reason why we make the distinction to have male athletics versus female athletics. The reason is that males have a physiological advantage over women. So in most sports, most physical sports, we do not have males compete with females. Do those same physiological advantages apply? And what is the evidence? Well, the evidence in competition seems to be that it shows that it does apply, particularly in weightlifting, rugby, mountain biking, power heavy sports that favor larger people, stronger bodies. Males that transition to females have a significant advantage in their breaking world record.
Once again, Rogan hits him with cold, undeniable facts. Biological males have significant physical advantages: muscle mass, bone density, lung capacity, speed, strength. And yes, even after hormone therapy, those advantages remain. But the woke crowd demands we pretend biology doesn't exist. The result? Female athletes lose podiums, scholarships, and opportunities they worked their whole lives for. This isn't progress. It's regression wrapped in feel-good slogans. Next on deck, comedian Pete Dominic.
A serious conversation about what kind of guns and bullets people can have. Not that they can have them or that they can't have. Like, that's the conversation. That's where we should be right now. Everything gets regulated, everything. There are trade-offs in healthcare. There are trade-offs in everything, but Americans now are so divided. They want everything that they want, that compromise is something that we don't do as Americans, much less in government. That's preposterous.
Pete argues the solution to America's violence is simple. Make guns illegal so no one owns them. Sounds noble in Fantasyland, but collapses instantly in reality. Criminals don't follow laws, that's why they're criminals. Banning guns won't make them disappear. It would only disarm law-abiding citizens while criminals keep theirs. History proves bans don't eliminate anything: drugs, alcohol during Prohibition, you name it. A black market always appears. Disarm the good guys. Arm the bad guys. That's not safety, that's chaos.
What I'm saying about the gun thing, the most fucked up part about the messiness of the gun thing is that even if you made guns illegal, even if you said you can't have any bullets, you'll all go to jail. There's so many guns, you're not getting them all. It's not possible. There's more guns than there are people, which means there's more than 30 million guns
There are.
in this country.
Rogan hits another overlooked reality. Even attempting a national gun buyback would be a logistical disaster. There are 400+ million privately owned guns in America. More guns than people. Buying them back would cost billions, maybe trillions. Compliance? Nearly impossible. Many wouldn't surrender their firearms. Others would hide them or sell them illegally. It's a feel-good fantasy that collapses the moment you face math and human behavior. And speaking of collapsing, remember the guest who imploded after Rogan exposed his lies?
You are associating me with this, and you are attempting to get me
No, I'm asking
cancelled
you to
effectively.
distance yourself from that. Is
But
actually what I'm trying to do.
That's not what you're doing.
I do not
You
see
don't
this as
think
propaganda.
that? Look at the way it's phrased on
Okay.
your article. This sort of race science is outdated and long since debunked, especially given the strong links between Atlantis and Aryans proposed by several Nazi archaeologists. That's like a part of the headline.
You want me to show you some tweets I've gotten from
Right.
people that are
I
fans of Graham Hancock
no,
and
no, no,
think
no, no, no,
that
no, no. Listen, stop. Don't do that. They're not connected to him. They're just human.
Flint Dibble accused Graham Hancock of pushing white supremacist ideas, then later denied ever saying it. Enter Rogan with the receipts. Rogan pulled up the exact clip. No spin, no speculation, just direct evidence. Flint tried to squirm, tried to rewrite history, but Rogan didn't let him escape. That's the thing about cancel culture crusaders. They swing wildly but panic when the blowback hits. They throw accusations, then run when confronted. Rogan made sure the truth closed the show. And with that, we wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit like and subscribe for more breakdowns like this.